I like your mug though.
Oh, well,
Talking about the.
I thought you were talking about my face. You got a nice mug. Oh, oh.
Oh man.
Well, welcome to the 40 most Mau Mau podcast in the world. Look at you, my first actual guest, the Rogue General himself, Mr. Toks Fale. Where? Oh, there's no one. There's no audience here. Don't worry. Hopefully, soon we'll have an audience.
None of our business.
Oh man, how are you, Fale?
Oh man, I am good. I'm just a little stressed out because I should be there sitting with you talking, but the forces that be don't want me to be there. Lucky, because if I was there, would be skinny, would be training 3 times a day, like we have before. Yeah, like we have before. But everything's good. Everything's good. I'm a little bit. I'm complaining about being here, but hey, man, there's worse people. There's worse people who are worse off. Like people in Tonga who are struggling right now.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah. I just I finally was able to get in touch with one of my mehitangas over in Tonga and one of my cousins and last night was the first time I was actually able to get some sleep. Like before that, since Sunday, man, I probably all up from Sunday night, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, right up to Thursday during the day, I probably only got 10 hours sleep. No sleep, but then no for mate off Tonga,
Yeah, I think everyone was the same.
Yeah.
I know all our families were.
Yeah, but have you had any luck? Or
I was watching, especially Facebook, because that's where most Tongans are on. And my family got in touch with my sister, and everybody seems to be okay. They're just struggling with water.
Yeah.
Water at the moment.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah,
but there's a massive people moving to sending stuff over there. I know a lot. The community in California, they're sending containers down for free. They're getting together to send down containers.
Yeah.
I know Australia, New Zealand now.
Yeah. When it hit last week, it was I was already get the wallet ready. As soon as everything's cleared up, it's time to send stuff. So yeah, my aunties and all that are already sending stuff out, and I know that right now my family funds are a bit, so next week we're gonna start sending stuff over. But yeah, my auntie was just the ash having to clean up from the ash, and she's it's everywhere.
You know what I heard? I read it somewhere that the ash is good for the plantations apparently. So they were cleaning up. A lot of people are keeping the ash because apparently it's good fertilizer, or it's good for plants to grow on. So I think it killed a lot of plantations. But if that's the case, then man, maybe in the next year or two, Tonga's gonna have some good crops.
Oh man, yeah. My cousin was telling me, because she lived further inland. And she said how now Tolu they're safe, the waves didn't get that far inland to reach them, but she was the ash is everywhere, but she was out Talo Fortuna, beautiful. And I was yeah, and she was yo, well, as soon as we finish here up the ash, what the hell for Takonaki, we'll send you some food. And it's just we're supposed to send you stuff.
We'll take it.
Yeah, we'll take it. Like my dad has never said no to Ufi and like Talo and all that. You know how it is.
Yeah. The one thing I noticed there, we were cut off. Uh, Communications were cut off for 2 or 3 days, right?
Yeah.
That's the one thing. Well, I thought, you know what? How can we get a satellite phone? That's one thing. If we really need, get one of those for your families. I don't know how much those cost, but just
Mm,
for emergencies, that's the one thing you
mm,
should have. Even if community gets together
mm.
and get one of those.
Yeah, it gets one like like a couple satellite phones per village or something.
Yeah, that's a good idea because 2 3 days, and then they finally got contact from the Australian Commission,
Mm,
and I think they had a satellite phone, but man, nobody, no phones, no internet,
yeah,
blackout.
total blackout.
Never. Yeah, they got me thinking. But you know what? That's probably the most important thing is to get one of those satellite phones.
Yeah, I
Not
mean,
family, the whole village,
yeah,
should get together and get one of those.
mm, yeah. I mean, especially considering, oh, see, the reason why it took so long for my family to be able to get in touch with my aunties and that over in Tonga was because like we're so used to just calling on Messenger that like one of my cousins I think had to like track down like an old phone of theirs where like my auntie's like number for Tonga
Mm.
was on there and I was just thinking in my head, I was like, this is so dumb. Like I can't get in touch with him for the dumbest reason because it's on my lap. Like the number, I have the number, but it's on my laptop that's dead over there. Like I can't turn it on. So yeah, it's definitely got me like, kind of kicking my ass back into gear about just making sure that okay, it's nice and flash to be able to get in contact with them via Instagram or or on Messenger, but like, it all kind of like, all of that like communication just kind of comes back to like phone. Okay, they got a phone, make sure you have the phone number.
Mm.
So yeah, I'm just yeah, like yeah, even when my dad last night was on the phone with my auntie, I was beginning to tole mohe. Like I was beginning to like fall
Yeah,
asleep
believe.
because just the relief, you know?
Mm. Yeah, I get you, bro. I think most of Tonga, most of our people just felt that way yesterday. Finally just getting through. And it's great because the fatalities were so minimal, and I was happy we got that news earlier, the first or second day. They only said there was only 3 people who had passed away. That was a huge relief, even though we were still worried. But when I heard that, I thought, that means most of the Tongans are still alive. So
Oh well. I think hopefully that shows that all our like grandmas and our mums and our aunties lotos aren't, you know.
it's amazing. This is one of the biggest eruptions in the world, right? And
Mm,
it's just a footstep away from Tonga, but you only have that small amount of fatality, and the whole country was safe.
yeah.
Man, what does that say about our people, man? You know what happened to Tonga.
Mm,
it was given to God by our one of our forefathers.
mm,
Make us special.
yeah.
Now the whole world knows us.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like whenever it's Olympic Games, oh yeah, Peter Taufa, Taufa Tofua puts it on for us. Whenever it's rugby world, like rugby league World Cup, okay, Matematon's got us, but then it's like it's also seeing like kind of like how like communities have rallied for us. Like, man, I seen like it's good to hear that like, you know, places where Tongans kind of like give their all, like especially like rugby clubs, sports teams and stuff like that, they see us like struggling and they're like, oh, even even if it's a simple Facebook post, like, oh, and it just goes to show that they're thinking of us. So yeah, I'm just I'm just happy that yeah, most people, you know, um uh are safe. It's just a massive cleaning effort now.
Hmm.
But yeah, man. How's oh I
Yeah,
see you're currently trying to fight for a spot in MIQ.
yeah, man. I've been trying to October, October like,
You know something? I will bet you, and I don't even have this money. I'll bet you $100 that if you're an All Black, you would have had your spot like ages ago.
I'm reading some stories that came out yesterday. There's the Netball World Cup in April or whatever, and they all got spots. Like these are people from all over the world coming over. There's groups going to Dubai for some expo,
Mm,
and they all spots coming back.
mm-hmm.
Doesn't make sense. These
Yeah,
people are they're not empathizing with people who are trying to get home. And man, I've been trying to get home since last year, but there's people who've been trying to get home for years.
yeah,
And then you have the emergencies. There's so many stories of people whose parents have died, while they were still in MIQ, or they won't grant them exemptions to get a spot. It's stupid, man.
mm,
I put up a video of the prime minister yesterday, and that's what she said yesterday, the day before. How could you say something like that to our face when we have been trying to get back and they won't let us come back?
mm,
I don't know, man. For somebody to lie to your face like that, I don't know why people believe her.
mm. Yeah, yeah. No, yeah, no, I like the MA the MIQ system now compared to what it was a year ago was completely different. Like this time last year,
Yeah,
we were we
like I
were
said,
we were visiting you like at the
yeah,
hotel, dropping off like otai and stuff.
yeah, like it was still hard to get it back then, but there were better chances of getting a room.
Mm,
And they came out with this stupid lottery pool. Nobody has a chance. You
yeah,
gotta really, man, 1,200 rooms, and there's close to 30,000 people waiting in line every single time. And then they they stopped it from December. Oh, I could go on. There's a different type of mental stress.
yeah. But how are you coping with it?
It's not easy, man. Like being the mental stress I was having in lockdown was different, but I started to cope with it because I was getting used to it, and I was learning every time I did it. I was learning how to do different things, how to keep myself motivated. Something like this. I'm not complaining about being stuck in Japan, because Japan, man, we've been back to normal since September last year. No lockdowns, no vaccine mandates, no passports, no nothing. Over here, it's just freedom. And I'm glad I'm stuck here because I can do whatever. But over there, like, what's going on over there, man? There's New Zealand and Australia are the only two places who are like that right now. The rest of the world is moving on. Britain yesterday, Britain yesterday lifted all mandates, no passports, no vaccine mandates, no masks, because they're moving on with this. Because with Omicron is not as dangerous. But I don't know
Yeah.
why New Zealand keep doing that. Why are they lying to people?
Well, yeah, like Omicron, from like the stuff that I've like read and from certain like trusted authority figures that I like, that I look out to, like whenever stuff like this happens. Yeah, they're like Omicron's more transmissible, but the symptoms aren't as severe as Delta. Um, yeah, and apparently over here we're being told to gear up for another lockdown.
Exactly,
Um,
man.
which is annoying, but at the same time, like I remember having a conversation with someone last year while I was in hospital, because last year was my hospital year, like you saw that. And I was just like, okay, and someone just, and they hit me up and they were like, bro, guess how many hospital beds they have here in Auckland Hospital, to serve the Auckland DHB. And I was like, how many? And they were like, there's probably a max of 800 beds in the whole hospital. So that's not like 800 ICU beds. That's 800 beds for every person in the Auckland DHB. And I'm willing to bet that Middlemore has probably a little bit more, a little bit less, because Counties Manukau DHB is a pretty big district health board. And you've also got North Shore DHB, which will probably be a little bit less. But like I'm willing to bet there's probably like all up in the whole of the Auckland region, we probably only have like, not including private hospitals too, probably a max of like 4,000 hospital beds to serve a region of 1.5 million people.
Yeah, but here's the thing though. It's been proven with
Mm.
Omicron, there's not many people go to the hospital.
Yeah.
And that's why a lot of these countries are opening up. So why is New Zealand fearing this?
Oh.
I've said it from before, and you know me, I haven't got my shots because
Mm.
I don't, not because I don't believe in getting them, because I don't believe in the control that we're being forced to do
Mm.
things. And I said that like 2 years ago.
Mm.
I've been saying it. Everybody tells me, "Oh, we need it. We need it." Yeah, you need it so you can get your freedoms. You need to get your freedoms. And every time you order, you still don't have your freedoms.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's the same thing now. Now they're pushing a third shot. They're gonna push a fourth one. It's gonna come how many times? But then what? You're still being locked down. You're still in this light system, which
Mm.
is bullshit.
Mm.
Sorry for the language. I
Ah,
mean,
you're fine.
being in Japan, there's no mandates and no passports. Everybody's free to do what they want to, and they're handling all this stuff because they trust the people to go and get it. They didn't even mandate it, and 80% of Japan went and got it.
Mm.
You force people to do something, they're gonna ask questions and say, "Why? Why are you forcing me? I'm not gonna do it because you're forcing me." And that's why I
Mm.
don't get it. So to me, it just feels like New Zealand is living in fear instead of just dealing with it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm double vaxxed and I'm due for my third shot next month, I think. And like, like the reason why I got it was because like I just remember back in high school, oh, it was a I think it was year 10 science, and we are talking about like how vaccines work. And I was just like, oh yeah, and like our teacher was like, this is how like herd immunity works and da da da, and how we got rid of like smallpox and shucks, what was the other one? Smallpox and
Yeah,
polio or chickenpox. I still got chickenpox somehow. But I enjoyed getting chickenpox because I was off school for like 2 weeks. um, Yeah,
So
but like,
you know,
but
you bring those points up, which makes sense because I think I had the measles.
mm,
But that's the thing, I got the measles and then I didn't have to get the vaccine after.
yeah, because
Right?
then because you build that
But for
immunity to
smallpox,
it.
I had to, small, smallpox, I think I got the vaccine for that.
For
Got the vaccine.
smallpox.
No, no, or maybe chickenpox or something.
Oh,
I know I got a few vaccines when I was younger,
yeah,
but I mean, that's the whole thing that's different now. They said science, but before, if you if you had the measles, they wouldn't give you the vaccines. No, but the measles is still out there, right?
yeah, it's it's a whole
So
thing.
all of a
Yeah,
sudden, with this pandemic, vaccines have become, a big
yeah,
issue. But and everybody has their own views on it.
mm,
I'm not. Everybody says anti-vaxxer, anti-vaxxer. I don't care. I'm for vax. I'm anti-this vax. You know what I mean? Because it's being forced. If it wasn't forced on me, I'll have a different viewpoint on it.
mm, yeah. But you know what? I'm just yeah. This is
No,
just
and that's the thing, man. I I'm not telling you not to get it,
yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
If you get it, if you think it's good for you, you're comfortable with it. That's
yeah,
good, man. I'm happy for you because of that. I'm not, and then people are forcing me to get it. That's the difference.
yeah. I don't like
And I'm not telling you not to get it,
yeah,
but and that's for me. That's the biggest difference here. A
yeah,
lot of people want to get it because they're not comfortable with it. But then
mm,
there's a lot of people who are getting it because they are comfortable with it.
yeah.
Good for you.
Mm,
And it's one of those, man. Like in Japan here, when people ask me, "Are you vaccinated?" No. Okay, okay, that's it.
mm,
Nobody got. Oh, you have to get it. You have to go get it.
mm,
New Zealand, Australia, and America is probably the
yeah,
worst.
yeah. Like the reason why I got vax was the main reason why is because I'm even though I don't look it, but I'm relatively healthy. Like, you get vaccinated to protect other people and whatnot. So I was just like, you know what, if I'm healthy enough to get it and I'm a consenting adult, I might as well get it, So that's why I got it, like, but I'm not out here. It's not worth the energy. Um, trying to like convince people because it's completely up to you if you want to get the vax or not. But as long as the kapati is still good, then oh
Yeah,
man.
doesn't make sense, man. Doesn't make sense to me at all.
Mm,
I think Japan has gone about it the best way. They've had a lot of people die, but most of them were like in their 80s and 90s,
yeah,
where most people die naturally,
yeah,
right? But they never forced it on anyone because they know if they forced something on the people, the last time that happened, there was a world war.
mm, we're trying to not have any of those anymore. Oh man, man, but like, oh man, do you
Yeah,
know? Do you know how happy I was when the dojo was open again?
I was jealous. Was watching you guys training. I was like, oh man, I missed it.
Oh man, it's so good. Like, oh, I'm like, yeah, even though like my knees are hurting and stuff, and I can't really do certain things, it's just, being in amongst the atmosphere with everyone, with guys like Tangi, and it's so good to have Mark training and like even Siwa, even though we're no good as partners, especially at boxing. Like, yeah. But it's just like, it's just being in that atmosphere. And I was just like, oh man, this is so good. And then like watching the series now on Lions Raw.
Mm.
And I'm sure some people are watching it and they're like, bro, is that what it's really like? Like, I'm sure they're like, is that what it's really like there at the dojo? And I'm so ready to just come out and be like, yes, this is what it's really fucking like. Like, yep. These guys over here, these young lions, they talk about 1,000 squats like what they had for breakfast. Like,
Oh man, wait till you watch the rest, man. It heats up when it gets to 5, 6, and then it blows up in the last couple.
oh man, because I remember when you guys first started filming, and then I was like, oh man, this is gonna be so cool. And then we went into lockdown, and I was in the middle of a funeral then. But then whenever we drive past the dojo, I was like, this is gonna make for really good TV.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that too.
Yeah. I was like, imagine the drama, you know?
So much drama. That was the most dramatic intake we've had. I
Yeah.
don't know. Maybe was it? Could it been because of the people, or could it just been because of the cameras? Everybody's emotions were more,
Yeah.
what do you call
But it's like, you can't plan for those things. And I remember I saw Dan, he so I think he took a photo before he put it into a Dropbox and sent it off to Japan. And I hit up Danny and I was like, surely send me the Dropbox link to surely send me the Dropbox link too. And he goes, message Fale. And if he says yeah, I'll send you the Dropbox link. And I was like, no, no. I want to find out with the rest of the world because I'm one of those ones that'll just be like, wait for this. Oh, you wait for this. Oh, you should like I'm already like that with all like the Marvel movies and all that.
Mm.
Oh man, but I'm just watching it and I'm like, yeah, that's exactly what it's like. Even though I've never done an intake, but like I know, I interact enough with the lions and that to know that this ain't no bullshit. They're not playing it up for the cameras. You fuck around, you end up doing 2,000 squats.
Yeah, Mike loves that.
Oh yeah, I can tell he was loving it by the time he had to start from like for like the fourth time.
That was good. That was good. Nothing.
Man, but I
This
hope
guy.
you I hope these guys do get a second season because it's like, you know, not that WWE is the measuring stick for wrestling, but like, with Tough Enough, and like other shows like especially reality shows, they they're so overproduced,
Hmm.
and literally like you guys had a bare bones crew. Like, there was only like probably you'd be lucky to have 4 production members. Just be literally Danny,
Yeah.
Will,
Oh,
and I think they bring in one of the other guys occasionally as well.
yeah, Hans. Yeah.
Hans, yeah, yeah. See, and like you guys put together what 13 episodes?
12. 12.
12. They put you guys, yeah, they put together 12 episodes, half-hour episodes, and it's just like
Yeah.
so.
Yeah. Here's the thing is, me, Danny, and Will been trying to do something together for a couple of years.
Mm,
We had a concept, we had a story. We were trying to put a series together. We've tried to approach a few different people, and everybody kept saying no, or we kept getting the wall. And we also had that Sunny movie, or I don't know if I told you about. They got stolen from us.
oh no, I remember when we were at the basin, and that's just when it all kind of blew up. And I never seen Danny so angry online. Like Occasionally he jumps on and he like trolls people who are dumb. Like, but you can tell that he's literally got nothing else to do when he does that. Like he's bored. But yeah, especially when it comes to creative stuff, like we're very protective with our ideas.
Yeah.
And just to see it go like that, like, bro, I felt for him so much because
Yeah,
I've
that
seen
happened.
ideas.
Yeah, but yeah, that's man, that's the kind of things that happens. A lot of people say no, a lot of people steal your ideas or whatever, and then I've been pitching this idea for years, and then I was lucky to meet Danny, and then we started talking about it. But that was the thing, you want to get something done, you just gotta do it, even if you only have three guys, two guys to do it.
Mm.
We're lucky, especially Danny with his skills, made it look like the production was a 40-man crew kind of thing. So it looked really professional, looked really great.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, yeah, like Danny's freaking goals, like especially for me as a videographer, I'm just like, man, that's why I gotta get in shape so I can get down and get those angles and get up and and all of that instead of just like yeah. But oh man, yeah, because I remember especially the first episode with the tryout. I remember watching and I was like, this is pretty much, yeah, this is like the footage I got, but like my footage is here, Daddy's footage is here. But it's because he can get those angles, and I'm like, oh man. But yeah, I'm looking forward like for the rest of it. And I love that, I check to see how it's doing on New Japan World. And I'm like, okay, oh okay, it's still in like the top 10. Like both episodes are still kind of in the top 10 most viewed on New Japan World. And I'm like, please.
I don't get all those infos. How's it looking?
Oh, these guys are doing pretty well. Yeah, but it's so good. Like, yeah. Oh, I wish they would just like uncensor it though, because like it just it just bites a little bit more. Yeah.
Yeah, I fought for it. When they first saw it, they said, "Oh, there's too much swearing," and I said, "Hey, this is what really happens, and people want to know
Mm,
what really, you know."
mm.
Oh, and they said, "Oh, whatever." I said, "Okay, we'll bleep it out." But then if we get to show it other places, I'm taking those.
Come on, come through Netflix, please. Please,
I
Netflix.
hope, man. I hope Netflix. Yeah,
Kataki Netflix, Amazon Prime, please.
I hope. Yeah,
Oh,
because they're uncensored. Like I've seen some documentaries on Netflix and no censors at all.
oh, yeah. Some of the programming on Netflix is a bit Are you sure this is a Netflix or some other website? Like what you guys are doing is tame compared to that. Oh man, but I'm just yeah, and I'm so happy to see the boys like it's literally them. Like it's literally them. Like Mike Mike doesn't really, he keeps to himself, but occasionally when he comes out, we're just kind of like Mike, you know. And I've been there at trainings where Mark is, oh, you and Mark like are hard on the boys, but then again, in that first teaser trailer where you were like, life is hard. New Japan training is harder, and I was like, yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's
Well,
on that's on episode 3.
oh man,
Week.
I can't. Yeah, I can't wait. But man, yeah, I'm just like, yeah. That and like that kind of like ties back because I remember we had a conversation not last year when I was kind of first at the dojo, and you were talking about energy and like vibrations, and I was like, oh yeah. And I kind of, and it's like, if you're a certain like wavelength or like, vibration, if you send off that energy to the universe, it kind of comes back to you. Like you kind of attract each other. And for a little while, like I got a taste of that. Like I ended up on like TV and all that sort of stuff because I just
You
caught
know
up.
how to, sometimes we get lost. We sometimes we find ourselves like, oh man, where was that vibration I had before? I was doing good. And of course, we lose it sometimes because sometimes situations happen like lockdowns and all that. But I've learned that, and I go for it sometimes too, and that's how I put on weight when I lose that vibration. We have to we have to function at a high level or high vibration to be able to get to meet these people who are at that same level, right? And I found from studying other people, listening to other people, and for myself too, that it's the training. If you want to raise your vibration, you gotta either run or get your heart rate up to a high beat,
Mm,
and that's how you get yourself that vibration.
mm,
And every time I do that, I realize, man, I start meeting famous people, I start getting on TV more, start getting other opportunities more. I noticed that every time I start raising my vibration, and I figured out how to raise it. You know how a lot of entrepreneurs and a lot of
oh no.
people who work, they get up at 4 a.m. and goes and trains his heart out at 5 a.m. Right?
Mm,
And you wonder why he's at that level. Because they raise the vibrations first, and then the rest of the day is just
oh
they're
no.
just riding on their vibration. That's why,
Yeah.
man, I try and get up every morning, do something, because it gets me at that level where I need to. Am I at the right vibration, or do I need to raise it up some more?
Mm,
And you were there, you're just talking about it now. You were there, man. You were getting on TV, and blew up on TikTok.
and some people, yeah, they're like, oh man, like, how did you like get through all that? And I was just like, my intention was not for any of that. My
Yeah, for you.
intention, yeah, my intention is just this is like a diary of my movement. Like, here's today's diary entry. Boom, I did this. And if everyone's watching it, then everyone's watching it. Cool,
Yeah,
great.
that just comes naturally.
So like, when all that stuff happened like last year with like the House of Highlights thing, and they were like, "Oh, Kevin Hart commented on your video," and I was just like, "Am I
See what I mean?
am I gonna
That's
get
the
many?"
vibration. You know, that's
Yeah,
that's the vibration right there. You got to that vibration level, and then that's that. Given how I was on the same level, how do you think you guys connected that way? Because he was
yeah,
on that same vibration the same time you were.
yeah,
That's how it goes. You know, it's
yeah.
it's amazing to me. Sometimes I'm not on the high vibration, and I could see it on the mirror. I start getting bigger and bigger,
Mm,
and I always check, "Oh, what's going on? What am I not doing right?" And then I figure out, just wake up and go running, or go do
mm,
some weights, or do something. And
mm,
then now I'm back at boxing. Man, I was struggling the last couple of months, man. I put on so much weight,
mm,
and mainly because of this MIQ um, fiasco.
yeah,
But once I accepted it, probably won't be back till June or July or whatever. Once I accepted that, I was like, you know what? Back to training, back boxing now, starting to lose a little bit of weight again. I could see it on my mirror.
mm.
But it's amazing just to be able to understand where your vibration is at.
Did you say June or July? So
I hope not.
Okay, I hope not. I hope you're back earlier then, but hopefully when it hits June or July, we can have a race. Talk about this race for like 2 years now.
Hey, as long as we have it, as long as we have it, as long as we aim for it, let's do
Oh man, yeah, man. Because did I tell you what happened when I first like came to the dojo? Oh man. So when because I had started like just training here in my room, right? And I remember like before I even came to the dojo, we were already like following each other on TikTok.
Oh yeah, I was watching
You
you.
know,
Yeah.
yeah. And I was just working out here in my room, and I just kind of and we had just come out of the first big lockdown, and I was like, oh, like my exercise knowledge is so limited because I don't know, I don't know what I'm doing. Like I'm literally just doing squats and trying to do like crunches and stuff like that. But I feel like I could get a little bit more out of it if I actually go to a gym. And I was about to go to the YMCA over here. And then I remember I was like scrolling on Facebook, and then I was like, oh, Fale Dojo. And I was like, yeah. I remember when I met Fale at Wildfire that one time.
It was a business meeting. I was the boss.
Oh yeah. The best business meetings always happen over at Wildfire. Um and I had like posted a photo of us because that was back in like 2016 or something. I can't 18, yeah.
19, 19.
But because and like even back then, like because I'm a mark, you know that I mark out every now and again. Um and and I was like, oh, I'll actually go to the dojo, like, because in that Instagram post I posted up, yeah, I want to go to the dojo, but I think that's back when you guys weren't really doing community classes or something. And and then like I actually showed up, like, oh yeah, I remember that first day like vividly, like driving past the dojo, and we drove past. It was this that one afternoon, and I asked my mom, go back. Can you go back? Because I had sent through like the waiver form and the registration form like to the office, but I didn't get a reply for like a couple weeks. So I was like, oh man, I want to be a member. Like, I want to get to the dojo, but no one's replying. And then like, so we drove past the afternoon and came back. And then like I went to get out of the car. And I think I saw you just kind of like peek out like downstairs. And I was like, oh shit, nah. Jump back in the car. We came back. And then and then we came back, like, so I think that happened on like a Wednesday, and then like came back on a Saturday because I just got like, I was like, nah, I want to go there. Like, I want to go to a dojo, like, and it's cool, it's run by a Tongan dude, like, why not go and support my own people? And then we came through that one Saturday, me and my brother, and like you kind of like took us on a tour of downstairs, and then you were like, yeah, I see you're like working out in your room. And I was like, like my face at the time might have been like, oh, that's cool, but really on the inside, I was like, what the fuck? And then like my first class was with Vic, and even though like I was still quite limited in what I could do, and I still am quite a little bit limited,
And
but
you
like,
compared to your first day, look at you now. Jeez. Like, I'd say you've improved 300% since then. Your movement, your how do you say the length of your how do you say your stamina, right? You
mm,
can train longer. Man, it got to a point you were training up 3 times a day, and I'm going, I can't keep up with this guy.
I was trying to keep up with you now, okay?
Man, I remember I go when I was still staying at the dojo. I was like, oh yeah, I just missed out the 1 a.m. I'll do that. We'll do the 6 a.m. with you, and then 1 p.m. I go, oh yeah, I'll go have a rest so I can train at 6 p.m. And then I hear your car, and then I hear the bark, and I go, oh
Oh,
man,
bear.
yeah, and I go, oh, he saw yeah, oh yeah, let's go. If you saw can do it, I can do it.
Oh man, boy, but it's
Okay, if you do it, what bike?
yeah. But it's honestly like I tell you like straight up, it's honestly the vibe that you and Mark and like Tangi and Mike and Tony, like you guys sit like an amazing vibe. So like for it keeps a guy like me coming back, you know. Um and this is the longest I've ever gone like to a gym like continuously, and yeah, it's just oh man, I wish you were here. I honestly wish you were here in Auckland so we can train
I
and
love it. I love it. Most people say, I wish you were here so you could drinking, so you go party. These days, I wish you're here in Auckland so you can go and train. I'd rather do that. That's better.
yeah, yeah, like honestly, like I would rather like there are two things that I would rather do with people. It's like train or shisha. Like that's it. Like and people will be like, so you want to go drinking and stuff? I'm like, at shisha, I only spend like when I have money, I only spend like $40 for the whole night. You go party and you're drinking out and you drop like $200 a night. It's like
Yeah.
and that training, it's what's that good old tagline over at the dojo? It's investing in yourself.
Yeah, that's
Oh
true.
man. So yeah, what day is it today? Today's Friday. So that's WrestleFit. I think it's Mike's on. Oh man, Mike is. I think I gave Mike an idea last night. Like, cause I was doing, cause like at the end of Aniva's, how at the end of boxing it's always core, and like, and Aniva was doing dead bugs, but I was only doing sit ups because my knees I can't really, even though dead bugs is in the air, and and then I was like practicing my sit up, and I was like, Mike, what if? Wait for it. You stop calling them sit ups, and you call them. Wait for it. Undertakers. He was like, "What the hell are you talking about?" And I was like, how he sits up, like in the middle of a match. So like, yeah, like you just sit up. So you'd be like, "Okay, guys, we got 20 undertakers," and people are like, "What are undertakers?" It's just sit up,
Full setup.
a
A
full sit
full
up, a full sit up, and you got to do the facial too. You've got to do the.
setup. Knowing Mike will probably do it.
Yeah, if I if I go to class and I see that on like the list, I'll take a photo and I'll see the team. Oh man, yeah. So yeah, I'm kind of looking forward to WrestleFit. Oh man, but yeah, are you are there any like current like tours going on over there in New Japan that you're a part of?
Um, my next, I was supposed to be on the March tour because I was supposed to be in New Zealand, but I don't know if nothing changes in the next week or two. I'll probably jump on the February tour just because I got nothing else to do.
I'm sure officers like, oh yeah, jump on the tour.
Oh, yeah, they'd love it. Yeah, they love that. So, hey, you can work for us.
You work for us, and you're like, what do you? So I don't do anything in New Zealand. Oh man.
Uh,
Oh, the first intake over here starts on Valentine's Day.
Yeah, so I'm gonna miss out most. Yeah, probably miss out the whole thing, depending on Auntie. Auntie
Oh,
stops lying
come on, Auntie.
and open the borders.
Man, because yeah, we have I think like oh yeah, because I drive past certain hotels and I'm like, wait, so that's not a managed isolation? Like so like
Yeah,
I
there's I don't know, man. There's so many ways it can be fixed. They're just not doing it. There's
mm,
so much excuse. There's hotels who are suffering because people aren't coming to stay at their hotels.
mm,
You know,
yeah.
I've read a story coming out from stuff or, or Herald, the Herald. You know, common sense would say, okay, whichever hotels are suffering, let's open those up for MIQ.
Mm,
Nope, no, they're making people suffer.
mm,
You know, rest
mm,
of the world, like even in Japan, America, everywhere else, apart from New Zealand, Australia, they people go home and isolate, and they can isolate for 3 days.
mm.
They can isolate for these two countries are the only ones doing that. I don't know why, because people allow it to it.
You know something? I blame that DJ from England.
You know, everybody's giving him shit. What he had? What Omicron?
Yeah, he had Omicron.
Not that nobody's gonna die from it. And so you know they're all fearing too much fear, man. Too much fear is
Mm.
clouding everybody's judgment.
Like, yeah, I talk to my friends and like his friends and stuff in like Australia, and it feels like every second person there has had COVID. And I was like, yeah, and like, yeah, I was talking to one of my work colleagues who works over in Australia, and she was like, "Oh, I didn't tell you I had COVID," and I was like, "What?"
Yeah, you know what? The numbers, and that's the thing. Why won't people believe the numbers? The numbers says you have a 99% chance of surviving COVID. There's so much fear that people are, especially New Zealand.
Oh well, if it look if it grabs hold here in the community, oh well. I just I hope it doesn't, but you know what? I just hope that our health system prepares for it. That's all you can
Yeah,
do. But
you know, I know what you mean. But
mm,
hey, are you gonna lot more people gonna lose their jobs? A lot more people gonna businesses are gonna die. Is
mm,
that worth it? They're
mm,
gonna lock down while the rest of the world is not.
mm,
It's great. They're gonna let that happen.
mm.
Hey, they don't. eh, As long as the health system survives, everybody else can die. No, but that's the logic of.
Oh yeah,
As long
yeah.
as long as our hospital beds are empty, who cares if your business dies? Who cares if you lose your jobs? Who cares about? That's what it says. You know, as long as nobody goes to the hospital,
Mm,
that's what it's
mm,
saying.
yeah. I mean, but yeah. Well, we'll see whatever they call it plan. I feel like we're talking about COVID too much. I don't like talking about COVID so much.
Yeah,
Yes, it gives me a headache just sitting here thinking about it. Oh man. Can you just go and wrestle in America, please?
yeah. I will once they let me in.
Oh, so America's not letting you into? Oh man. Can you go oh you know what? I don't think I've asked you this, but what was it like wrestling in like Madison Square Garden?
Oh, that was a dream come true. Even though it was just in the Rumble, I didn't care. I never ever thought I'll be in there. Jeez,
Oh man.
crazy.
I still remember seeing that photo of like 6'3", like 100 and like, you know, 30 kilo Toks Fale, like standing on tiny cheeseburger, like and
Cheeseburger.
Cheeseburger's a stick. Like, like he's a stick. And it's just like so fucking off by the way you're looking at it. But I remember like that's what I think like Cheeseburger's like he's posted it up on his Instagram a few times and he's just and like it's so weird because we follow each other on Instagram and he's just like, yeah, that happened. Yeah. And I'm like, bro, like, what the hell?
Yeah, yeah, that was fun. It was an amazing feeling. I never ever thought I'd get there. But hey, we talk about vibrations. That's what happened, man. Everybody raised the vibration, and that's why everybody got to that point.
Because what everyone when everyone hears of like Madison Square Garden and wrestling, they just think of WWE. And yeah, it's like, oh, I like. Are there any other like stadiums or venues that you would like to go and wrestle at?
No, not really. I think that was probably the highlight right there. Yeah.
Oh my gosh! Come on, baby, y'all.
But yeah, I think it's time I need to get ready. Gotta go to training.
You are training. Oh shucks. Oh yeah. What are you doing boxing again today?
Boxing, yeah. Yeah, I'm just doing boxing right now because there's not much group trainings around in Tokyo. Most of them just are private PTs.
Oh man. Um, what's the time over here? It's about almost 3 o'clock here, so we got training at 6. Uh, pray for me. Mike is gonna tamadate us, and I'll pray for you. Who's the trainer you got over there?
Five Alamoy.
Five
Yeah,
Falamoy. Oh man.
yeah, he used to box with David Tor, and then he came here and he did the K1 thing as a coach. Coached Mark Hunt and Ray Seffel that that dojo.
Stay away from Samoans, please. Oh man. But yeah, oh yeah, thanks for coming through, Fale. I know we could like carry on yarning for like forevermore. And I'm sure that you'll jump back on when you're in person and we could instead of
Yeah.
having a cup of tea, we
Oh,
probably palu palu and have some cover.
what?
Or what? But yeah, man. Oh
That's
yeah. Take care of yourself. Yeah.
yeah, man. Thank you too.